Yo, what's up, gamers? So, I walked into the break room today because I needed coffee. I always need coffee. And that's when I see Gary from IT on the break room computer staring at Destiny 2's DLC page like it owed him closure. This man had receipts everywhere, a PlayStation Plus calendar taped to the microwave, a sticky note that just said June 9th with 3 question marks and what looked like emotional damage, and 2 spreadsheets open on his laptop. One was labeled, "Should I buy this before it gets cheaper?" The other one said, "DLC I bought twice somehow." And that second one hit a little too close to home. So I asked Gary, "Why are you panicking? Isn't Destiny 2 free?" And this man slowly turned the laptop around. The checkout screen looked like raid mechanics. We have expansions, bundles, upgrades, dungeon keys, legacy packs, PlayStation Plus timing, final updates. I'm standing there like, bro, I came here for coffee. Why does buying DLC require a fire team? Because Destiny 2 is free in the same way the vending machine is free to stare at. And now Bungie is dropping the final live service update on the same day PlayStation Plus gets one of the biggest Destiny 2 expansion bundles. So yeah, we need to check the receipt because today we're talking about Destiny 2 DLC. You can still buy it, you can still play the game, but the era is ending. So before we get into it, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below, would you buy DLC for a game after the live service era ends? Because this one is personal, expensive, and covered in more fine print than a dungeon key receipt. So let's grab them off because I'm gonna need your help cleaning up this Destiny 2 checkout screen before Gary accidentally buys the same expansion twice again, and before I admit how many times I probably did the same thing. Now, before we get too deep into the receipts, I gotta say this one hits different. I'm not talking about Destiny like some tourist who just walked into the tower yesterday asking why everybody is dancing near the vault. I lived in this game. I started back in Destiny 1, ran the original campaign, hit Vault of Glass, went through the dark below, and those early days felt special. Then real life hit me with the loading screen. I had to deploy overseas because I was in the United States Navy, and so I stepped away for a long time. By the time I came back to the States, Destiny 2 was around the corner, and I jumped back in carrying all that history with me. For me, Forsaken was the era where Destiny stopped being just a game. That's when I started meeting people, making real friends, finding groups, building memories that lasted way longer than any loot drop. I joined my clan around Garden of Salvation, and my favorite raids were Last Wish and Deepstone Crypt. But the best memories weren't just the clears, they were the people, the late night runs, the wife that turned into inside jokes, and the one who says, "Last try." And somehow everybody stays for 6 more attempts. That's Destiny. So when I talk about buying Destiny 2 DLC now, I'm not talking about it from the outside. I bought into this world more than once. I was already there, and that's why this ending feels weird. So here's what actually went down. On June 9th, 2026, Bungie drops Destiny 2's final live service content update. It's the Last Moments of Triumph update, and that name alone feels like Bungie walked into the tower with a photo album, a sad guitar, and one last box of shaders. But let's be clear, this is not Destiny 2 getting deleted, this is not a server shutdown, this is not one of those situations where you log in and the game just gives you a black screen with emotional damage. Destiny 2 stays playable. Raids, PvP, dungeons, strikes, and existing content remain online, for now. But the live service treadmill, that's stopping. No more normal seasonal chapters, no more expansion cycle, no more next big thing every few months. The tower lights are still going to be on, but the update machine is getting wheeled into storage. And that's exactly why this matters for You Can Buy. The game is still here, the DLC is still on sale, but the future that used to make buying expansions feel like an investment, that future ends on June 9th. On the same day, June 9th, PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium members are getting Destiny 2 Legacy Collection added to the game catalog. And this is not some tiny starter pack with 3 shaders and a handshake. This bundle includes a lot. The Final Shape, Lightfall, the Witch Queen, Beyond Light Pack, Shadowkeep Pack, Forsaken Pack, 30th Anniversary Pack, plus dungeons like Pit of Heresy, Shattered Throne, and Grasp of Avarice. So on the same day Destiny 2's live service era ends, PlayStation Plus is basically handing players a giant DLC suitcase and saying welcome aboard, right as the train stops moving. And look, that does not mean the content is bad. A lot of the content is still worth playing, but from a buying perspective, that changes everything. If you're on PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium, do not rush out and buy this bundle right before June 9th. That would be like paying full price for break room pizza 10 seconds before Olivia from accounting announces the company already ordered lunch. What I say is wait, check what you get first, then decide what's actually worth buying. And this is where Destiny 2 gets really funny in that my wallet just stepped on a rake kind of way. Because yes, Destiny 2 is free to download. Cool, the front door is open, but once you walk in, the DLC goblin jumps out from behind the vending machine holding a card reader. Right now you've got Renegade sitting at $39.99, Year of Prophecy Ultimate Edition at $99.99, big expansion still floating around $29.99 each, older packs sitting around $19.99 each, and if you hit add all DLC to cart, that total hits $504.46. For a game entering its final live service chapter, that's not a purchase. That is a raid boss with a checkout button. And this is the real you can buy question. It's not, is Destiny 2 free? It's, what does the game expect you to pay after you walk through the door? Especially now, because June 9th brings that final update, and a huge PlayStation Plus drop, a huge collection and price cuts. Buying DLC blindly right now is walking into a raid without reading the mechanics. Could you survive? Maybe, but somebody is absolutely going to yell at you. Now, to be fair, Destiny 2 is not becoming worthless overnight. There's still a lot of game in here. You gotta remember there are raids, dungeons, PvP, strikes, campaign content that remains in the game, loot to chase, builds to craft, exotics to hunt, and enough space magic to keep Gary from IT spiritually employed for years. But most importantly, you still have the social side. That's the part that made Destiny hit different for me. Because yeah, Last Wish is incredible. Deepstone Crypt is also incredible, but the reason those raids stuck with me was not just mechanics, loot tables, or boss music, it was the people. The friends who stayed up way too late to finish the clear, the clan nights, the jokes, the panics, the one guardian who says, I know what to do, right before launching himself into the void like a caffeinated shopping cart. Then you hear that iconic line, Guardian down. That was Destiny. Destiny was never just a content list, it was a place people kept coming back to. So if you're brand new, this is a huge archive here. You can still find a clan, you can still meet cool people, you can still have those late night one more run moments that somehow turn into 3 hours in a microwave burrito at 2 a.m. So yes, there is still value here, but you are buying the archive now, and not the future. And that's where things get complicated, because emotionally a lot of us want to say, just make Destiny 3. And I get it. The memories are real, the friendships are real, the raids are real. Destiny meant something to you, to me, and it still does. But trust is the part people keep skipping over. Bungie didn't lose that trust in one big explosion. It was 1,000 little receipts piling up until the break room trash can caught fire. Cause think about it, we had content vaulting, sunsetting, seasons disappearing, Lightfall disappointing people after years of build-up, monetization getting heavier, dungeon keys becoming separate purchases, expansion pricing turned into a spreadsheet boss fight, and the cycle of Bungie ignoring feedback until the backlash got loud enough to shake the vending machine. Players would get frustrated, Bungie would respond, things would improve for just a little while, then eventually the same problems would start crawling back through the vents like a live service raccoon. And that's why this hurts, because the community is passionate, the memories are real, but passion does not erase broken trust. And once trust is gone, a bundle does not magically patch it. That's why buying Destiny 2 DLC right now feels so strange. You're not just asking, is there content here? There is. You're asking, do I trust what this purchase actually means? Which brings us to the question everybody keeps asking. If Destiny still means this much, why not just make Destiny 3? Emotionally, I get it. When a game reaches the end of an era and players start sharing memories, raid clears, friendships, old screenshots, clan stories, and those you had to be their moments, the obvious fan answer is to keep it going. And that is exactly what a lot of fans are trying to do. A petition calling for Sony to greenlight Destiny 3 has over 230,000 signatures from players who do not want this universe to end here. They want the Guardian spirit to keep going, and that hits because for a lot of people Destiny was not just a game. It was a place, a routine, a fire team, a second home with worse inventory management. But from Sony's side, they may not be asking, does Destiny have fans? Clearly it does. They may be asking, can Bungie be trusted to make Destiny 3 the right way? Because Sony is not just looking at passion, they're looking at risk. Vaulted content, disappearing seasons, messy pricing, damaged player trust, and Marathon not exactly inspiring universal confidence. And that is why this is so complicated. Players do not just want another Destiny, they want a Destiny worth believing in again. And that is why this whole DLC conversation feels bigger than a price tag. So here's my final verdict. Should you buy Destiny 2 DLC right now? My answer, wait until June 9th. Then buy cheap, buy specific, or skip entirely. If you're on PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium, do not buy the Legacy Collection before you see what drops in the game catalog. If you're new, there is still a massive game here, but you do not drop hundreds trying to buy the whole graveyard. If you're returning for one last nostalgia run, I get it, but wait for the collection, wait for the price cuts, wait for a real sale. And if you're current, only grab the exact pieces you're missing. Do not panic buy the catalog. Do not spend that $504 trying to complete everything. Do not buy expecting years of new live service content. That part is over. Buy the game that exists. Do not buy the future that already got canceled. Destiny 2 is still playable. The memories are still real. The content that remains still has value. But be honest about what you're buying now. You can still buy the DLC, you can still play the game, but you cannot buy the era back. Well, that's all I got. I gotta bounce before Gary from IT tries to explain dungeon keys to Olivia from accounting, and she locks the whole break room behind a seasonal paywall. But before I go, do me a favor, hit like, subscribe if you want more You Can Buy episodes where we check the receipts before the industry hides it under the rug, and tell me down in the comments below, what is your best Destiny memory? This is ScruffyDJanitor signing off. Peace out.